1, 2, 3 back in the day, 25, 30 years ago, which was the precursor, I guess, to spreadsheets or Excel. I think. I don't even know that. I'm just, words are coming out of my mouth. Okay, well, okay. But I don't know any of that stuff. But I do, fortunately, I'm numerate. For those of you that are numerant, in other words, good with numbers, you'll do better at this. Not degrees, numbers. In other words, you can, that's, 55% of that is this or this. I mean, you understand at the fingertips, you're good with numbers. You'll do better at this. Because when I look at deals, and when you get the information tomorrow that you're going to require to look at deals, it should take you between 30 seconds and 90 seconds to ascertain if the deal's any good. 30 to 90. 90, I'm giving you the benefit of the doubt because your brain did. But I mean 30. Because all you want is a summary of the financials. And when they send you the 3 years tax returns and the financials for the last 3 years, see, the reason why you want the tax returns is that most people won't lie on their taxes. So if they tell you they have no tax returns, next. They haven't lied on their taxes because they haven't filed their taxes. But if the taxes and the 3-year tax returns and the P&Ls they have aren't plus or minus 10%, next. I mean, next! And if they won't send you the tax returns, or they've got some reason, if there's anything other than there'll be an email to you by tomorrow, that's the only answer you want. And almost all the guys and gals today, and when you get the financial summary, it's going to have top line revenues. Okay. It's going to have general expenses. Okay. And you're going to come up with profit after G&A, which is your gross margin. Okay. And I want you to be in businesses that have 20 to 40% gross margin. Why 20 to 40? Because you don't know what the fuck you're doing. You're going to fuck it up. I don't want you in any of these 5, 6, 8% margin businesses. I don't want you in there. Okay? And I don't want you in retail, restaurants, or any of that shit. That's too hard to manage. Too much competition. And even though I've been telling people to go do bed pants for 25 years, there's still no competition. People that started bed pants 25 years ago are now worn out. They're tired. And their kids don't want to have anything to do with it. They have no succession planning. Very few people that run these businesses. Some of the businesses you're going to see, they keep their money in a cigar box. Literally. A cigar box. But you're buying it on real numbers. And the other thing that you ask for when you start the due diligence, and we're going to give you the due diligence lists to use. All the lawyers have them, all the accountants have them, but we have our own. We have a couple of them. Is that the bank statements? And when I see inordinate amount of cash, I go talk to the banker or somebody on the board. Well, why is this guy sitting on $7 million in cash? Because most people will pay out dividends to get money out of the company. So it's when they don't pay the money out and they keep it in the company for a reason, there's a reason. Normally it's not a good reason. I've seen online guys have money pumped into their bank accounts from sources they don't even own. Unless you follow the money, and you can now electronically, it's very simple to follow the money, to try to puff up the value. But that's how simple the system is. And for those of you that make it more difficult, you don't have to. We've had a lot of people come to the seminar over the years. The thinkers are poor, and the doers with their minimum IQs are pretty well off. And I can't get over, and I can't emphasize, and I can't push enough. And it's a cheap cliche, mistakes are, that's the only way you learn. But you don't have to make, but maybe 5% of the mistakes, because you've got all the templates. And the mistakes, almost 100% of the mistakes you're going to make are going to be personnel mistakes, people. You're going to pick the wrong horse, the wrong dog, the wrong whatever. And inadvertently, because you're going to pick somebody like you. And you want these people, and the system demands these people. Be pretty tough. Be pretty tough. Now, when you have guys picking for boards, guys that like to sail, they're bad for the boards because they're off sailing all the time. Golf, you can get a hold of them. Tennis, you can get a hold of them. On a boat, they just switch their shit off and they don't answer. They don't answer. A couple of the board members have gotten really fortunate in the last year or two. They found a couple of chairmen that are deal junkies. They love in the hunt like when they were 30 years old, going out, kicking the tires, asking hard questions, having maybe too much to drink at the Motel 6. A couple of the guys, and these guys are golden. When you get a guy like that, I mean, you should thank your lucky stars. But some of the guys would rather do this. Some of the old guys would rather be with their grandkids. Okay. None of them want to be with their wives. Success leaves clues. Success leaves clues. But I'm an exception to that, Sally. I'm an exception. Of course, I'm a grandfather now, but that hasn't changed much. Okay, so now who's my 5:30? 6:30? Don't be too excited when you raise your hand, kid. I mean, Jesus. Okay. Now, tomorrow we're going to go start the step-by-step process that chairman, the CEO, the CFO. If you're going to be CEO, but fine, we're still going to go through the CEO. Industry experts. Now, your in-house lawyer. And your in-house accountant have nothing to do with your accounting firm and your legal firm, the outhouse. I call them outhouse, but that's like a shit house. But anyway, but the outhouse. They may be, if you have a Big Four accountant retired on your board as the accountant, he will, even if not the same firm that he retired from, he will have, more stroke with the other Big Four. He'll actually have more stroke with all the accounting firms. And the lawyer that you have that's on the board is not have anything to do with the law firm, and he, by definition, you will not be able to use his law firm because he'll be conflicted. He's going to be voting, for what the law firm wants and what we want as a board. Okay, and we're going to go through the interviewing process, and then the last day we show you the role plays of Josh and how he does it. We do it the last day. And we will then go and find the accountants and go through the interviewing process for that. And then we'll go find the lawyers and we'll go through the interviewing process for that. And in both of the accountants and the lawyer, you start with small firms and you work your way up. You don't start with the Big Four, and you may have an uncle that's a retired KPMG partner. I don't give a shit. Because you can't put a bullet in your uncle's head. Your brother-in-law, or whoever they are. And you have to be able to pull the trigger here. Meaning, as soon as there's a red flag, you boot him out. And if he's your brother-in-law, you want to give him the benefit of the doubt. Not because you give a shit about him, because your sister will kill you. That's why. Now, what kind of reason is that to make a business decision? None. But you do it. Or a classmate from your brother who went through, we're not interested. We're not interested in any of those reasons. And it would make the process shorter, it would. But you also wouldn't learn anything. And by the time you go from the chairman to a motivated seller, you've made 50, 60, 70, 80 presentations. And you're smooth as baby shit, in theory. You're smooth as baby shit. But if you don't get the seller to acquiesce to your terms, then, it's for naught. And then ultimately, if you don't exit, Now, some of you not necessarily in this room, will want to build legacy businesses that you can have bring your sons into. That's not my forte, but we have guys that have built legacy businesses. Now I'm training their children that are 20, 25 years old, second generation. Some of you will not want to do one industry. Some of you will want to do conglomerate. You want to build a conglomerate, meaning a lot of different industries. Okay, this model works for that. But your board has to look different if you're going to build a conglomerate. Now you need guys that have been in a conglomerate. And a word was invented here with a couple of seminars, conglomerator. I'm not sure that's a word. But you want everybody to have the conglomerate experience. There's a big difference from buying a utility and buying a mobile home park and buying a hospital. So you need people on the board. Now, I'm a generalist because I'm across the board. I can advise on almost every industry. But you need people that have general experience and not necessarily specific experience. It's easier just to go down the vertical and go down to healthcare or with healthcare. And there's many acquisition targets. We've got kids. And in this country, you have to have 50% of your board has to be dentists if you're growing up dentists. Okay. In some countries, you got to have at least one doctor on the board if you're rolling up. In some countries, all of that is easily overcome. Those aren't even speed bumps. But if you're in a particular state or a particular section of Australia, Jason is. He's not a doctor. He's a brain dead meathead that is rolling up radiology clinics or whatever they're called. And so in Australia, I don't believe you need to be a doctor.
Just pharmacists. You got to done a pharmacy. You got to be a pharmacist.
By the way, pharmacies are hot. Mom and pop pharmacies. But in the major cities, they've been rolled up. We're talking about Central America. I don't mean Central America. Mid-America, mid-United States. That's what I mean. Mid-United States. Any questions? You got more homework tonight. You're going to see movies. We're going to eat in the castle. Any questions? Okay, I'll see my 5:30 at 5:30. You go around the front of the castle to the main door. Please, for those of you that are staying in the castle, it's not a barn. Close the fucking doors. Both doors. It costs $10 an hour to heat the castle. Because we live in all of it, $10 an hour. And all I see is dollars going out the door because you didn't close the door because you lived in a barn. And that's the biggest escape that the castle has, are those two big fucking doors. And when they're left open, so that's $240 a day if I get up or I don't get up. And we turned on the heat. I told him not to turn on the heat, but Sally thinks he deserves some form of heat. I don't myself. But
do you have the hot water soda?
No.
Okay, I don't have any hot water.
No hot water? Well, maybe she does. Maybe she listens to me.
I mean, I didn't know if it was something I should mention or just.
No. Yeah, tell Kim.
It's part of the program.
And that's what I was saying. I didn't know if it was some mental game or.
No. Okay. Any questions about anything? I'll see you at dinner. I'll see my 5:30.